Hello and welcome to the first video ever on this new channel. We are going to give you our theories about what we see in the Russo brothers image that hit the internet by storm about Avengers 4. There have been many comments on what they meant by look hard. Well, of course, it means look hard at the photo and see what you may see. I'm not buying the fact that this reveals the title. I think it's much more confusing for us to think that that is what they're doing here. They want to confuse us while yet conceal the true meaning behind this photo. No one has commented on all the dark space sitting above one of the Russo brothers' big, black, chalky looking screen. That is exactly where we will focus on what we see there. So when you hear look hard, we believe it's not an obvious thing that you'll find, like trying to think that you see Endgame or Avengers Assemble or whatever else you may see in this video. Look hard means there is something not necessarily present when you just look at the props, the screens, the A's that you see, or things that spell E's, or whatever else you may see in this photo. So let's get into it. But before we do, again, our focus is going to be on the big blank space that we see. We're shifting gears and going to explain something by looking at the Shroud of Turin. This supposedly is a Christian artifact that wrapped the body of Jesus in his burial clothes. And when he rose from the dead, the energy and the power from him raising from the dead burned his image in the shroud. Now, the shroud image that you see right here is kind of dark, but they were able to see the depiction of Jesus by fading, by taking the image and taking pictures and doing all this analysis, by making the contrast certain ways, by darkening it, by brightening it, and then they just found that the fact there is something on this shroud. And I do believe that the Russo brothers are doing the same thing by that big dark space that we see in the photo behind or in front of one of the Russos. By applying the same Turin type experimentation, we just use filters on our computer, looking at different angles and tracking down contrasting colors, and what we were able to see honestly are four potential Marvel characters that are on that dark screen. And we believe that that dark screen means that these characters will die in Avengers 4. Back to the screen, we're going to show you that we see 1, 2, 3, 4 different Marvel characters that we will reveal to you as we do the angle adjustments and the contrast and the brightness, and then we'll try to point out where we see eyes and nose and head shapes. And so let's get to it. Number 1 is the first thing we're going to look at. On the left side is the picture how it appears in the original Russo brothers photo. We've done some contrasting, and on the right side is a poorly drawn picture of just a head shape, a long type of chin, and there's a nose and 2 eyes. But if you let your eyes go from the left to the right, from the left to the right, you can clearly see that there are some eyes that are symmetrical and a head shape that we try to point out here. Now, this is not necessarily something that we see in the MCU universe as a villain that is recognizable. However, this could represent the villain Eternity. As you can see, there's more speckling throughout his head, and he does use the cosmos to create his body, universes, stars. But it is very interesting that there's two dark spots. There's two eyes in the middle. It looks like there's a nose right there in between the eyes, and there's just a long chin-like, mouth-like chin face there that finishes out. So we're not sure if this is a new villain or just don't have enough information, but that is something that we can see in the photo. Now we're going to focus on number 2. This one to me was a lot more obvious, and this is interesting that this one is right above one of the Russo brothers, and I believe that this represents number 2, a main character in Avengers 4 that will die, and he is above Russo, which means this has probably been the most important character in the MCU universe of all time. And who would that be? That would be Iron Man. Looking at this photo, again, some clarity and some contrasting, and you can clearly see that there is 2 eye cavities on the left side, and we kind of mark the eyeball location, the makings of a nose, mouth, and what's interesting is there is a darker contrast above the top of the head that clearly to us represents Iron Man's red top of his helmet, and it even has the shape of an early helmet by Iron Man. Kind of looks like that this Iron Man face looks like a skull, which we believe represents his death. So I think, again, number 2, Iron Man is here. I would recommend playing around with this image yourself on your computer. As we identified the location of this next facial image, go back and do your own analysis to see if you can continue to see what we see. Now we're going to move on to number 3. I think this is a clear image of Thanos, as clear as it can be. Again, from left to right, we mark where the eye location is, the nose and the mouth, and you can see that has that narrow face. The chin is low down by the base of the ladder, but it clearly looks like Thanos, and I believe that this means that Thanos will die in Avengers 4 along with the new villain that we don't know who he is, to Iron Man. And you can see this is very clear, a depiction of Thanos in this video. There are many more of you out there who have better computer skills than us. This is just using Microsoft Windows picture contrasting 3D paint. So you may be able to get a clearer image than we did, but this is just kind of what we saw. It looks like Thanos in this picture. Finally, the 4th location up above Thanos, which makes sense to us, can't be for sure. It's very hard to make out the face, but we believe that it could be Thor up top, and this is very, very hard to see him actually, but there is an eye, a nose, makings of a chin, and a head, and there's many more faces too. There's even, if you look above the head, you can maybe make out a face. So there's faces that we believe that are present all over this background, and it says look hard. We didn't get the best contrasting in on this image. We believe that it could be Thor, and if you just even look at this photo and kind of look around, look where you see other eyes, we think there's more locations of faces and eyes throughout this photo. It needs to take somebody. I'm asking you, as we are really the first ones to discover this, I'm asking you who may be more astute in coming up with contrasting, looking at these photos and doctoring them up, to see if you can do more to reveal what is on this black board. We believe there were 4 faces, Thanos, Iron Man being the most recognizable, and then that new character that's kind of larger than life could be Eternity, and then maybe a faint picture of Thor. Good luck. Please subscribe to this channel. Click the subscribe button on the right. This is the first ever video on this channel, but we believe this blackboard has images of potentially artwork, characters that could die in Avengers 4. And again, anyone of you out there that can try to see more than we did by your filtering skills, do it. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. We believe, again, These are people going to die in the Avengers 4. That is what the Russos are trying to tell us. Look hard. Iron Man, Thanos for sure, potentially Thor, and then again, a new villain on the left, number 1. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, it's Gray from Big Itchy. Hopefully you enjoyed this Russo picture. Tell me what you think of in the comments. Like and share, and subscribe, and put on post notifications. Bye.